Howdy, kids. I was able to, I just was reminded of some chick I watch her once in a while who's, well, and I don't really watch her, I can't. She seems like she might be a sunny kind of personality. She seems to come across as a happy, shiny kind of lady. And I've seen her in her more famous state or persona also one time for a second or two, and instantly recognized her because she laughed. So I don't know who that is. I don't know why I needed to mention them, but you have made me giggle a couple of times. I will let you know. Hi guys, how is it going with you today? And yes, I'm glad to finally. Yeah, I took the time to listen to this silly little filter girl. um, she was going on all about the Indian thing, how George and all that was. But it was funny that they did finally hit on something that I was like, huh, what? Oh, really? Because it was go, which is if you go back to corn, you get a reference there too, and I've had that more than once. Um, I'm not so sure about the lore that you've received about people coming and going from these realms and them which realms they go to where they don't come back from, that kind of things. But I do believe the whole theory about how some of the demigods, let's say, instead of advancing on past, being a demigod onto being, one of the other realms, such as the true heaven, for example, um, that they repeat. It's they come back again and again. As far as I know, I was supposed to do one big dive, which turned into a couple series of dives actually, and then this final one that was way out of hand, way beyond anything we ever wanted to do. Obviously, because we were living in a world of lies, a world that apparently is an ever-changing world, and that's no world to live in, if you ask me. That's one of those. Again, we're just nah. We're done with that stuff, man. Um, the silliest things. I have to comment on the silly manipulations. Yeah, I understand that whole thing. Yeah, I understand the whole thing about you don't want to get stuck and have to come back and repeat. And that's what we're all about, not having to come back and repeat any of this. Now, they do say that some times we'll come back. Uh, like, if you listen to the book, the Bible, then, or look at it, read it, you see what I'm saying. The thing of it is, now see, I'm taking on part of that personality because I let them come to my mind. This is not that much fun. The Mad Hatter is always like, hey, wait, let's just be me. But yeah, so the whole thing about the kingdom and all that, I I've been talked to about that kind of stuff again, and all I can say is it'll have to be absolutely perfect for me, in me knowing that in fact we are providing for the kingdom, and that if I decide I don't want it, then I'm gone from it. Bye. I just kick off and be like, I'm back up there sitting at his right hand. Okay, you see what I'm saying? It has to be really perfect. But what I'm hearing is stuff that just does. It sounds to me like no. I'm hearing more of the same stupidity. It's like you're trying to get me into a situation. It feels like they're trying to get me into that situation where it's like, oh, you're stuck with it. Now you're stuck with it. The only way that you're going to be ever free of it again is have to go back, live another life again, blah 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 blah. But I'm a day. I'm not supposed to be going round and round and round like somebody who's on their last day, which was announced that they were on their last day way back in 1974 or something, wasn't it? Anyway, I was amazed at how overt some of the manipulation has been, how a person can go from, well, really sounding so very much like they're for the day, etc., to turning around and sound like they are, in fact, on the payroll of the damned enemy. Okay? So, for example, this one lady I've been watching for a while, and she looks like she's part of the Right Eye Club, but I don't know that. And just because you're left wanting on one side or the other doesn't mean you're actually going to do the smart thing and invite in um, that which is the good Lord on to take the place of what was lost. Um, some do, some don't. But if you ever look in the graveyards, sometimes you'll see them, the ones, the statues of them that are mourning there, right? They'll have that one finger held up beside the left side of their head. And that's what that represents. Um, let's see. Okay, so what I would say is and I'll probably never watch that woman again because it was just so damnably offensive. Because they came back with that thing of um, loving them. and and this is what someone else had referred to recently as the religious children of hell. In other words, like in the book, he said, there'd be those who would call themselves Jews. And that's the reason why, see, is because they're free to practice other things, you know, and like maybe, I don't know exactly, but methods and techniques that they really, it comes down to they're just guilty of being magic people guilty of magic. Um, and they're not doing any of the mitzvahs or anything like that. They may pretend to act like Jews and live by the Old Testament, blah, 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 and so on and so forth, but they're not following any of the laws either. So they're just Satanists. Um, but anyway, uh, they were saying about how you have to love them, even if you don't feel like you should. Don't follow the spirit within you. Don't follow what the light is telling you. You're supposed to love them. And went so far as to say God commands us to love one another. Well, yes, I'm pretty sure that that's one of the things that Christ said was love each other as I have loved you. Now, he did not go out and say, throw away all that is brought to you by the Holy Spirit in heaven upon non believers, uh, upon the children of Satan. There's nothing in the book anywhere that says, it says, you're supposed to love your enemies. But of course, he's speaking about those who are within the body. In other words, they are actually of the same God. They have the same God in them that I have in me. Now, the people you're talking about, they don't have God in them. They may have a God in them, or a B God, or a Z God, or something dark, or just simply a demon. Because I know a lot of times when people will go this route and they like to try and confuse terms and stuff, which means, of course, they are the enemy. They've gone that route. Whether or not they've known it, they're being taken over. They're being led that way. They use words like entity instead of person, or energy instead of entity, rather, because you can say an entity is more, is again, that's, I would say you would use that in terms of a spiritual projection, maybe something that's coming in, but it is a conscious thing. Um, as far as I know, all entities are conscious of themselves and at least to some degree what environment they're in. Um, but then, oh yeah, love them truly, they've said. Again, I'm thinking, Well, wait a minute. We did do that. It was really pretty sincere, but now an awful lot of that was because of the love spell that they were putting on us and the confusions they had put upon us about whom they actually were and who they're not for. Because I'm real doubting they're for who at all. Um, Pray for them, you say. Pray for them. Well, we have. Now, that didn't work out for us either in the past. It seemed like when we prayed for them, then somehow that meant more than ever we were connected, and it was something that you just can't, like, you cared about them or showed any concern for them. So now that's again more evidence of their implied agreement where we're yoked together with something that's the dead or something like that. So no, we pray against our enemies because they're not within the same body. They're not of my God. They're the enemies of our God and heaven, all the God people, all that's light and life. Because as far as I know, they are the dead. They went over and did that when they were like 22 or so. And of course, there's all these others too. Uh, some sing about how you're better off dead, if you're not already. Um, so to pray for them, again, I have, and it didn't really seem to have any effect. Now I know there's a bunch of people out there. They're like, it's not the person that's doing it; it's the demon in them that is. How did they get that demon? You got your demons, you got desires. Well, I got a. Well, no, I don't have a few of my own. I don't have much desire at all for anything but the Lord and light and more of it, life. Um, oh, and my rope and monies and stuff to be returned. It just feels, instinctual as a spirit being that I need to recover these that have been forcibly taken from me in such a really shitty way. Um, but I hear, again these tales about how, oh, you're getting it all back, and or you're getting it all back times whatever. It was like, well, let's see that. I'd love to have that happen. Hold on a second. But yeah, well, I see there is this pray for him thing. It's like you're trying to get me to be connected to him or locked in some kind of a deal with them that's they're not me and they're not my responsibility. As simple as that. I'm not here to. I mean, again, they were trying to change us from what we were supposed to be. And I know what I'm supposed to be. I mean, I'm a white baby, right? I'm staying alive, whether you're a brother or a mother, whatever. But I also know that I was supposed to rise to the top and that I'm very comfortable in the sky. So I do believe at some point I was to graduate and become the man's man that I was before, which is my Father in heaven. You know, again, a son of heaven. And I was speaking about this the other day. I said, there's actually people out here competing to be the Jesus or something like that. Going back to the conversation about the universal Christ, when all this first began, it's like the universal Christ, yada blah 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 blah, and it's like becoming a Christ, becoming like Christ, becoming as powerful and being able to do all the things of Christ. And remember, again, he told the apostles this, that they would be able to do greater than him, but they were, again, remember, his, owned, claimed, and supplied by heaven. Okay. uh, and I was trying to, I was saying to him, you know, but the thing, and they're actually after, they're like keeping score. It's not about their spiritual development, but it's about power, knowledge, I guess, and how they can mimic vibrations and stuff like that, and rather than just talking to heaven in the morning, or in the evening, or whenever you need to. And I said, I told him, I said, they're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. They're never going to be anything uh, that's a actual competitor, a contender for the throne or anything like that. And the reason why is because they don't contain it. They're just mimicking. Again, it's just simply, wearing a mask. Basically, they're just putting on a different mask, trying to look like the one or something like that. Um, Hold on. So, since it's not the real thing, you see, it can never rise above a son of heaven. It's never going to be more powerful or bigger or successful against an actual son of heaven. And the only way to do so, the only way to actually compete, is to take on that same God and take on that same light, to have that same power. And well, by the time you do that and you're successful with that, if you get accepted, um, then you're not in competition anymore. You no longer care. There's no rivalry between you and any other thing that is a light of heaven, because you're all of the same cloth. You're cut of the same. You're of the same spirit. Remember in Snow White how, you know, she looked to the birds and said, "What do you do when things go wrong?" And they started singing. And she says, "Oh, sing a song." And so they did all sing and dance around and act all happy and this and that. And they conjured it up, so to speak, in a way, figuratively, I guess. But it also goes back to, those old time hymns, that kind of thing. It's what are you appealing to? How are you appealing to it? Or are you a self contained super generator of light and life and without need of anything? They used to tell me, no man's an island unto himself, Tom. I'm like, okay. And I didn't know what the hell they were talking about. But in fact, I was an island all unto myself in heaven. That's the only reason why I was able to be a heaven. I mean, rather, to live in my own heaven and to be an island unto myself, apparently it seemed. It was because of heaven. I was connected to that. And I'm being more connected to that. And I'm being more empowered by that. They're lifting me higher again. The reason why? Well, because of the recent attacks. 2 days ago, I went out, and before I could get back, listen, I was only out there for like 6 or 8 minutes. And by the time 6 or 8 minutes had gone by, I was fully engulfed in fire. Woohoo! Oh, wow! I mean, it was big. Well, it was planned. It was very well planned. They knew where I was going, of course, where I was going to drop them off, the lane I would take, or the other lane I would take. And so that they could get close enough and everybody be there just long enough to make that gift to us. And that'll be coming back to them manyfold over via heaven, and they can keep it. But, and just, now I have to tell you, I didn't really feel it that much. I didn't feel any heat, okay? Um, it was more like it was dancing around on the outside edges or something. So there was no, I pray there's no degradation from it. But the announcer on the radio basically confirmed it by saying, something about how this is one of my most favorite songs of all time or something like that. And I don't even remember what the artist was. The point of the song was, and the part of the song was something about burning desire or something like that. But you see, I have no actual desires, really. There's no real wants except what I've been wanting, which has to do with my continuing to elevate. We continue to become even less available and more out of reach to all these things that are hostile, all these that have been rebuked and rejected, them that were trying to keep me down, and all the traitors and them that betrayed us, and all that, them of darkness, the kingdom of darkness, all them of hate, all them that is against my success, happiness, or victory. Exactly. Um, that's all we've been wanting. Well, about 16 years now or something like that. And I'm really glad that it's happening. I'm very happy about it. I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful that the good Lord at the time really did me well by removing anger from me, making there be no place here for that. I do know that when some of them I really like come around and they're very close with me, if they still have anger, I can feel it. There's a part of me which will latch on to that and utilize it as an energy. But it's not good because if you are that one bringing me the anger, right? If you're, which probably means you're capable of making some kind of mistakes because of it. Where do you think that is going to be mirrored to? The first place, that which is closest that brought it, right? That's why I'm saying, please, in the name of all that's good and holy and love itself, renounce wrath, rebuke it and reject it from you. Say, I renounce my anger because it's not helping you. It will not ever help you. You don't need it. The only thing it can do is maybe make you a little bit more intense regarding things, a little bit more quick to the trigger, maybe quick to a judgment that you might regret. But it usually always is leading you towards a mistake and or being in a state of mind or state of being that is not good for you or anyone else. So again, that's why I say, please, please, at least trust me on this much and renounce wrath. It is lying to you at the very moment it shows up, and you say, well, but I'm justified in being angry because that is the damned thing lying to you right then and there. It is trying to convince you, I'm you, you're me, this is all good and right, this is correct, you're justified in feeling this, and from these feelings, deciding the things that you're going to do about it. That's all it is. It's an alien living within you. It is a spirit that has been cultivated within you by the society, by the damned black mirrors, by pretty much anything. Where you look, these things of fear and anger and these kinds of things, these are the things that you can expect from Satan. Because it won't help you. Being afraid really isn't going to help us, is it? Because when it comes right down to it, there's really nothing at all not anything to be afraid about, other than the light leaving you, or something like that. Hold on. Okay, so enough of that. And let's see, what else did I have? Oh, they were saying, forgive them for what they have done. Whom? Whom exactly is it that I'm supposed to forgive? Which group? And now, are you saying forgive them for what they've done and do and is doing and is still doing and continue to do, and while they continue to devise many more things, ways to do bad stuff, and so we just forgive them everything? Is that what you're saying? Because no, let them go to God on that. They need forgiveness or something. You're telling me, and the reason why they're saying you need to forgive them, blah 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 blah, because they're about to go. This is going to happen to them or something bad, and they're about to be under the judgment of God or the wrath of God or this. So what you're trying to tell me is to pray against the judgments that are coming down upon the people. And I get this. They tell me to walk upright, right? Which, shut up. And God will make your enemies your footstool. And then almost as they're saying all this stuff, they then go on to say, these people are evil. Huh? Well, I believe you on that last point. They're evil, and people will try to say, like, oh, don't blame them, it's the demon in them. Well, how'd they get that demon? Why is it there? Why do they listen to it and never try to fight it? Okay, you got your demons, you got desires. Well, did you try to do anything about that, or did you just follow them? Did you just decide to be the demon's bitch. Yes, sir. Yes, Master Demon. Because I resist the devil, and they're supposed to flee, they're supposed to go away from you. They're not supposed to continue hanging out with you. If you go, no, Satan, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to be bad. Go away. And Satan's not supposed to come back and test you endlessly, day in, day out, every day, all the time. It's not supposed to be to test you until you do fail, type of thing, which that seems to be the mentality. And it's not my problem you got a demon. It's not my problem that you did magic and do it and conjure up this and hire people from outside to, it's not my fault that you think in an evil fashion, and apparently always have. Whom was it that was your teacher? I know you said your daddy didn't want you. So was it Darth Vader? Did he teach you everything you knew? Well, and he's lied to you again and again. Remember? Again and again. So, but anyway, no, those manipulations are never going to work. These things about service to self and service to others, it's like, no, it's not service to others. It's service to the good. I'm not here to bleed out for everybody and everything. I wasn't supposed to be siphoned off up like I have. I wasn't supposed to be used by evil to better evil. We're not here to grow evil. We're not even supposed to be here. We're supposed to be way the heck above all this. Long time ago. Remember Major Tom? Oh, there was another one that was really making me laugh a little bit ago while we're on this theme of, oh, you gotta love the evil people. That's because comes right down to it. They're evil, they said. And then up here, but before that, God commands us to love one another, which I'm not evil, I'm light, and love them truly. So what that idiot told me to do was to love the evil people. Love evil. Well, no, I can't love evil. That's opposite of what my God would have of me. Again, there was some kind of setup where people were being able to come back to being day, right? And it was in a passive type of way. I wasn't directly involved with them. We weren't doing battles with them or anything like that. Yeah, I was a lender and not a borrower. But then, what? The darkness people and the enemies, decided, hey, you know what? This evil bitch, which is the enemy's agent, we're going to marry you to. Well, no, that don't work. We reject that. We're never accepting that. I saw that stupid black witch was on there this morning with some new story about how, well, we're going to just return without an apology or an explanation or a conversation of any sort, or being together with them, or saying we're sorry, or making restitution, or anything, and just go back to what it was and keep on going just like it was before. Basically, in other words, the same damn thing they've done day in and day out for the last, 20 years, right? Against our will, without our agreement, forcing themselves upon us, saying they are me and I am them, whenever I'm light and they're not. No, I'm day. If you're not day, you're not joining me. Do you have my money? You have my rope? Am I going to be taller when you show up? You come bearing gifts? You don't even plan on a conversation with us, I guess, right? You're the enemy. Stay off, stay gone. Invaders are all going to be seen the same, especially those that have already shown that they are traitors, that they are the type to betray you, the type to hate you. That's not my house. Anything that hates me is not a part of me. This is not a house where hate lives. Not anything of hate's going to come here and be here. The friends of hate can't find a way in here. So, um, I saw a thing the other day. Oh, you know what? Oh, wait. There is one more thing. I think it was that crazy chick who, I think she's in a northern climate. Um, one of the Disney characters, the one that was like, "Yay, I look like a Disney character," because it was real happy about that. And I think it's in a northern place, some place with snow and large pine trees, maybe, or something. But yeah, young, it's all good and everything. Yeah, as far as looks go, again, like a Disney character. Um, but it shows up, and again, kids, uh, I know how to lead a person from bad thinking to good thinking, from darkness to light, to illuminate that within themselves by simply practicing what is called Socratic questioning. Okay? And as far as being upright, well, I've done more self examination and self work than probably anyone you've ever known. I think I've been doing that for ages. Just actually, just seriously. And I know what I am and I know what I'm not. And I know I am my father's son. I know that this color that you're looking at here is very significant. The sky means so very much. Yes, yes, the white is wonderful. Hey, can you find a better group of people than those who is dedicated to the good God? Can you? I mean, seriously. But again, out of that little crowd, there's some that have red stripes, right? That ain't me. I'm sure I've done that already. I'm real sure that this color blue is, where I'm supposed to eventually graduate to. If I'm not actually there, living there, then I'd have to be at the top of everything here. And this ain't even the world that I see because of the people that were involved. It was really, they built their world around me and they're the dead. And of course, they're not going to keep me. We're not going to stay amongst the dead in a dead world. That's just not possible. It's just ridiculous. It's like saying, "Hey, we're going to take a light down into hell and down into the world of darkness, and we're going to keep it there. And you're just supposed to be whatever they want you to be for their sake." No, no, no. Which takes me back into this silly Disney character girl who I mean, it's nice that you have, something to read, that you have it scripted out. Thank you for a coherent message. I made it 2/3 of the way through. Um, but basically, I mean, it came down to they were talking about how you have to integrate your shadow self, trying to tell me, oh, you were the black sheep of the family. Now, listen to me. I have a memory that goes all the way, and I have very few memories, I'll tell you. The only reason why I have memories is because they were key moments. They were integral to my understanding. I have a memory that goes all the way back to like whenever I was 5, of people remarking about what they were seeing in me. Okay? And the black heart that they were remarking to said, "Yeah, well, bigger they are, the bigger they fall." Now, that old black heart died since then. Yay! And will never be around me again, or if it does, it will burn. I guarantee you that. But if you understand what you're saying, like, oh, you can't shine as brightly or something like this. Well, who cares? I mean, that's just stupid. That's just stupid. You're trying to say, you may be a light, and the light is fully integrated into you. And of course, you shine, and as you continue to grow and accumulate more, you'll shine more brightly and all that. But the only way to really be a real shining thing is to integrate something that's going to dim your light. You need to integrate the shadow, which, let's see, is the shadow of heaven? No, no, it's not. I know. Yeah, you're trying to say that, oh, you suffered a trauma or something somewhere along the way, and oh, something happened, and you've had a mask on ever since, and you've been hiding uh, your real true self, that the shadow side of you that's yearning to get out. Like you've automatically got a Dr. Jekyll in there somewhere. You're just waiting. And I think she actually said, and if you don't integrate it, then eventually it'll just blow up and like it'll come bursting out of you. And it's like, no, that's called anger. We rebuke anger. I rebuke and renounce wrath and all its friends. That doesn't live here. There's not going to be a place here for it. They won't be able to get anybody in here that contains any notable amount of it. Those days are over. Everything black was eliminated from us. It'll never be coming back. Um, so, whenever I was experiencing these things last night, I think it was, and this morning, there's this tendency for me to go, liar! You're a GD liar! Um, because of course, the whole thing about your spiritual development, if you're if you're trying to walk a good path and take the higher path to become a higher thing, right? To be more pure, to be better, you could say. And I don't like using that word because everybody's so sensitive about it. And especially those who need to be the least sensitive about such things. You see what I'm saying? But you might as well be saying, the only way to soar higher, Tom, is to put more sandbags on your balloon basket. Much more. Dark ones. They're heavier. Much heavier. And you want them coming to you with all kinds of bad things and curses and problems, troubles. The only way you can really be who you really are is to fully accept evil as part of you. Why would I do that? Are you trying to tell me the shadow is good somehow? Are you trying to tell me that wrath, anger, hate has value? Did I need those things? I heard one of them saying something about, it might have been the same thing, that you want to be spirit led instead of ego led. I do have the light with me. It doesn't seem like my mind is for rent to any god or government. Who am I, they say? I'm not sure about it. I know I'm gay. But I'm becoming more certain with every passing moment. And of course, our stability is increasing greatly, just in a huge, huge ways. But yeah, I think maybe that's the end of that video about loving the enemies of me and my God. No, we don't love the darkness. See, we're just not going to do that. We don't love the darkness. They're not going to look. What do they do with the energies they got from me? Did they work towards making them in a better world? Because what I see is it's a crazy freak show that they put on the television now, and supposedly what is representative of the world that would be with them as a part of me. That it don't work for me. See, I looked at it, I'm like, that must be Tommy's mirror that he's looking at. And it's not me. And all that means is we have to leave We have to go up a lot higher. Things are going to have to be corrected, perhaps, or scrapped altogether. But either or, it's not going to go the way of darkness. And no, we're not going to be integrating them into us. We're not the divine feminine. Supposedly, they've been saying the divine feminine is the goddamn darkness. It's the kingdom of darkness. Why? It's not. We're not the same thing. We're not of the same thing. We're not at all the same thing. Not at all. It's like totally different alien species from different worlds. Are there places where it's hard to tell the nighttime from the day? Yeah. And are there, it's look, it's like in the Tom Sawyer song. He knows that changes aren't permanent. You go through changes. Okay, I've gone through changes. I've a little bit like this, or I'm more like that, and because of the energies and this and that, and where I'm at in relationship to yada, etc., and so forth, and right. But what I am in essence and who I'm supposed to be is already done, and it was before I came in. Again, I'm not defined by my experiences in the matrix. I'm not defined by the sins that I'm guilty of or anything like that. Here they come. They must be angry because I'm recording this and saying it again. Yeah, I rebuke, reject, and refuse and renounce again the darkness, all of them of the darkness, kingdom spouses of the darkness, them that is not the day. Because we've already told you again and again, we're going the way of the day. I'm day, surrounded by day, here in my daylight, and that's good. We're all good with that. And, the sky is with me. The sky is helping me. This is a triumph of the skies and the good, what they would call, I think, the mother, perhaps. Because the good mother does present, does not try to hold the cream of the crop down from the father, who is supposed to be saying, hey, that's mine. He's supposed to come up here. He's supposed to do this. It's going to be for his glory, you see, up there. And so this other thing where they talk about a kingdom and stuff, where, is it designed by him? Is it something that I can go, you know what, I don't like it, and I don't want to mess with it anymore. I'm just going to go back up to regular heaven and be up there and not do this anymore. Is it something like that? Because if it's at all in any way, it's something that's like, you're trapped forever. And now if I'm trapped by, the fact that I'm helping people and I'm enjoying my works and something like that, that's one thing. Just as long as there's always the option of me going, I'm tired of it, I'm going home. Goodbye. And then just boom, I'm back up there, man. Gotta keep it cool, man. Because, man, there's this better home. It's waiting up there in the sky, and that's where I'm going. That's what we're doing. This other thing, the Black Witch, it's like, again, you guys, you played it out. You showed exactly what you are, what you're willing to do. And your intentions were not good in any way, shape, or form. Right at the very beginning, you were consuming, killing us right there. And then, of course, you kept on going, even after, oh, man. And could you ever pass back? They were even saying that the other day. I don't think they could ever pay back. And, I don't think they probably could ever pay us back either, except over a period of ages. But then I would figure, that they'd be given a loan by heaven or something, if there were ever anything, and or hell, either or, and then they could just pay them off, But I do know that we're supposed to be getting back our stuff, getting back all that rope, and everything's supposed to be repaired and actually, be as good as it ever was. So, because again, did we want to die? No, I didn't want to die. That's whenever they talk about change. That's what I see it as. That's what the line in the song means. He knows that changes aren't permanent, but change is. We didn't come here to change. You know, Bob Seger sings that song, you're still the same. That's the way we want to be. Still, just like that. Still the same, moving from game to game, whatever, because that's our deal. And we do benefit others. Now, if you're confirmed of the darkness and hell and damnation and all that stuff, I'm sure there's not much we can do for you. But I know the game was, we were bringing people back today. But we're not going to be married to the darkness. We're not going to be open to the evil witch. And again, I pray, after we've rebuked all this again and again, I pray that everything that we have rejected and repudiated, heaven keeps rejected from me and repudiated. They're not able to return at will and just simply connect back in to use me as their energy source, since they are evil and they are the enemy. Again, they're just goodbye. I say goodbye, and that's all there is to it. So heaven's not going to allow them to continue coming back again and again. It's they're not going to be able to make themselves a part of me, and nor shall anyone, unless it's already me, or that we have some special arrangement that I've given permission for. But no, the wicked witch and all those people have been rejected, and whom have sought to hold us down or harm us or put diseases on us or in us, and all them that's been repudiated and rejected is still repudiated and rejected. Heaven, amen. And in the name of the good Lord, Prince of Peace, Father in heaven, heaven keeps all those people disconnected from me and my energies. They're not able to have my energies, and they don't benefit from my blessings either. It's just the opposite. The more they try to get close to me or connect to me, the worse things will be for them. It's they'll burn. Heaven will make them burn and burned away from us. But they're invaders. They've already, traitors, usurpers, people of magic, all that's been rejected, all that's of the darkness. Okay, that's all invaders when they come to connect to here. Those are thieves. They're seen as thieves or invaders, and very bad things heaven will do to them to send them away from us. They'll be damaged and lose, and it'll be to our benefit and our profit. Again, raising us, again making us wealthier. And, like for these attacks from the last couple of days. Yesterday I went out and it was good. I was really pleased with all that's white and good and the sky. Our good Lord. I was so very pleased because it wasn't that there was no attacks. It's just they had no efficacy whatsoever. It was as though, we were just we're being kept out of the way of the enemy's energies. We're being kept out of harm's way. That's what heaven is doing. They keep me in a good place, covered in the good stuff on all sides, top sides, bottom sides, all sides, and the stuff that keeps out all that isn't good. Because you see, again, we were, again and again, they talk about a healing journey and this and that. Well, that's what I think we've been starting to embark upon just now, recently, is our healing journey, where we actually are healing through in the journey, which means we're separated from the other. We're day without the other. Because I saw somebody talking about this the other day. They were talking about that which is in a cocoon and all the processes it goes through, because it's transforming from one being into a different type of being. One that crawls around eating everything into one that flies. So into a monarch. And whenever they're getting into their cocoon, it's I missed this part. I don't know, but they put in this like silk stuff at the top of it which has got a bunch of loops or something. I don't even know if they have them at the time, but they end up with all these little appendages at the bottom of at their bottom, where like you could say their feet, like if they were hanging from their feet, and they're like, it's like a hook and loop thing. It's like Velcro. So no matter what, those little sticks that are off feet that are coming off the bottom of them are hooked up in those loops, and they don't fall down. They're always hooked to that thing, but they're separate from the walls around them, so they can do all they do and move around, and but they're still separated from the walls around them by the amniotic fluid, you might say. It's a gelatinous stuff that they produced when they got in there. Um, but the one thing you can say about a cocoon is, and the way an alchemical or spiritual cocoon would operate, would be you would get into that and you would have the walls would be keeping out all the is the evil. Because why? You're purging of the evil. You're purging of wrong thoughts. You're purging of, that's what we've been doing, purging wrong thoughts, wrong perceptions, gaining greater insights into the reality, into whom we are and how we're supposed to operate. And so we become less and less of the other stuff that had invaded us because it was opportunistic for them to do so, because they wanted to use us for all we had. And those are, not with us, and they're having no influence really anymore, other than, I guess, to agitate us by saying, yeah, we're coming back. Uh, but past that, nothing really. And so I think we're probably developing better right now. And we have a really, heaven's given us a real good attitude. One second. Well, dear God in heaven, if you listen to all of this, you must be interested. And but it's 51 minutes and 52 minutes per cut. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're just gonna leave it there, where it is. So leave that there. Again, all that was rebuked and repudiated, refused and rejected prior to now, all them of the kingdom of darkness, not all that's not day, okay, is still eliminated from us. Heaven keeps that eliminated from me and disconnected from me and my energies, and they do not have any place here, nor are they given access to us. They can't access us anymore. There's no way for those people to access us. They can't keep up with me. They can't access me. They can't enjoy my blessings. I'm not their cover. They're not a part of me or my house. They're not to have any of my energies. We're not feeding anything of evil. We're not married to anything of the evil dead. And again, if you would like to approach us in person to have a conversation, I think possibly, that won't get you anywhere. But at least it would, and I think the only reason why you don't is because it won't get you anywhere. You won't be able to answer the questions because you don't want to answer the questions. And you're just the enemy. And that's all you've been, and that's all you'll ever be. And no, we're not married to the enemy. Goodbye.